Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Drug cheat Jarrell Miller has failed yet another doping test. A third doping test has been reported as being failed by Miller, who had been scheduled to face Anthony Joshua on June 1st in New York at Madison Square Garden. That is out the window. This drug cheat is roided up to the absolute gills. So this is a third failed test as reported by Dan Raphael, and we'll go to his updated story. So I won't go through the first and second tests because covered that in recent videos. One just an hour ago that went up, but this third one, a urine sample also collected on March 31st, returned positive results for two additional banned substances later on Friday: EPO, which increases the oxygen carrying capacity of blood, which could help a fighter from showing fatigue late in a fight, and GW1516, which an athlete might use to assist in fat loss or as an endurance booster. And GW1516, that was part of the first failed test from March 20th. Then you have the second test, which was a blood sample, which was taken on March 31st, which was human growth hormone, HGH. And this third one, which is EPO. So Jarrell Miller, absolutely roided up to the gills. Get him out of the sport. This cheat has no place in boxing. Clearly trying to game the system, trying to get an advantage here. And this is the situation that we find ourselves in with millions of dollars on the line. Someone who clearly feels they need an advantage, they have to boost their chances by taking banned substances. And this is extremely dangerous for the sport. And we can't be naive to think that it doesn't happen, because Miller, who's obviously roided up to the gills, and there had been some suspicion in the past about his freakish endurance, given he was increasing in weight, going over 300 pounds, and now we know why. So it wouldn't surprise me, one, if there's going to be more failed tests from this recent batch of VADA testing. But two, some of Miller's recent fights will come into question, because he was like an Energizer bunny, would keep going and going, throwing a huge volume of punches. And seemingly, while we don't have the evidence to back it up, but we have this samples from this recent testing, which he wasn't actually taking for these other fights. This is more rigorous drug testing in which he's been engaged. The voluntary anti-doping agency testing, which he's been a part of, which he tried to sort of palm off as voluntary testing, which he was willing to take part in. He was contracted to take part in it. He had to do it if he wanted the fight with Anthony Joshua. Joshua put these extra measures in place to make sure that Jarrell Miller was clean. And he is just popping like anything. Who knows what else is going to come in from recent tests. And there has been some criticism from some quarters, or why has it taken, the best part of a month for some of these samples to actually come to light? And from what I understand from doing a bit of research, there's only a couple of labs in the United States that are certified to do this work. And it's not like they're waiting on one sample or two samples from Miller to test. There is, all sorts of sports that have drug testing as part of, fights and contracts, all manner of things like that. So it's no surprising that, one, they would do these tests, but they're probably testing and retesting. I don't know all the processes, but it does take some time. And now that we are seeing from, 3 or 4 weeks ago, these samples, it's starting to drip out now that he's failed all these tests. So Miller had the winning lottery ticket, but he's really and royally stuffed things up for himself by injecting or ingesting all these different substances, which are banned for good reason, because this is a dangerous sport already. People are punching themselves in the head, and this guy is absolutely taking someone else's life into his own hands by being juiced up to the gills. And who knows from his other opponents, what was happening there. And I think his whole career, and remember, this is 4 tests that has failed in his career now. There was one back in 2014 from his kickboxing days. This is not a great look for Jarrell Miller. He will forever be known as a drugs cheat. And let's talk about his statement that he issued the other day. It has not aged well. It's aged terribly. Miller obviously had thought, well, I'll chance my arm here on some of these words that I'm saying, but I've never knowingly taken any banned substance. When I found out the news last night, I was totally shocked. What, shocked because you were caught, or shocked because you didn't think you would get caught? That's the thing. Jarrell Miller has obviously been engaged in a program of systematic doping to gain an advantage here. He is a liar. He is a cheat. The guy should be run out of the sport. He has no place in the sport now. And even if he comes back from a ban, I do not want to see this guy again. He's an absolute joke and he needs to be gone from the sport. And this is just a quick update, but a third test in a row, get out of here. Seriously, Jarrell Miller, you're a liar. You're a cheat. I'm glad you're not getting paid these multi-millions of dollars, and I'm glad that you had to spend your own money on this camp because, you were going backwards on this deal. All the stuff that you were saying in the build-up and, about other fighters over the years and all this sort of stuff, it's been a front because you've been juicing at least for this fight and who knows for whatever other fights. And certainly there is suspicion cast on your entire career. You should be run out of the sport. Okay, what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.